Welcome to the Serenity Solutions Podcast, episode number 9. I'm just going to turn that down a little bit there. So today I'm going to keep it short and sweet, provide a light but focused podcast on kind of the end of the year intentions and reflections. And then I'm going to finish with a little bit of mindfulness to leave us calm on this wonderful Sunday morning. So let's get started. So I'm reading from an Intentions and Reflections book, and I just want to read a quote to start. And the quote is, "The flower that blooms in adversity is the rarest and most beautiful of all." And that's by Walt Disney. So let that sink in for a second. And now you may want to get a little piece of paper out if you'd like to set some intentions for the rest of the year. We've got Black Friday coming up. We've got some goals in the sales world, but we also have some goals I'm sure you're reflecting on if you attained your goals that you set in January. Some people always have goals. Some people set those goals in January. Some people don't have goals at all. So everyone's different, but I'm just going to get started here. So our thoughts lead to action. Our actions create our experiences. Our experiences define our character. Think back to any goals you set for yourself during the course of the year. Take a moment to reflect on how you did with each of them. So if you think about goal number 1, rate it from 1 to 10, how you did on that goal. So I'm just going to give us some space and time here to reflect a little bit, and I'll do it with you because I like to do this in the moment. So say you wanted to lose 5 pounds, 10 pounds, 15 pounds. That's just an example. Since January, how'd you do with that goal? Or say you wanted to quit smoking or stop using your phone so much. How did you do with that goal? Okay. How did this goal play out over the course of the year? So you can journal that. How did it play out? Did it start off really well and then go downhill? Or have you been able to be consistent throughout the whole year? I know it's only November, but we're getting close to the end of 2024, which is crazy. Now let's think about goal number 2. I'm going to think about goal number 2 in my head as well. Rate that out of 10. This is actually something we use in counseling as well as rating things out of 10. It's from the solution-focused therapy model. And how did that goal play out over the course of the year? How did you do with this goal? And what obstacles or challenges did you face with these goals? So, for example, if you were trying to lose weight, did you find that Halloween was difficult, or Easter was difficult, or Christmas was difficult, which had Christmas hasn't happened yet, so I better not say Christmas. Although all the candy is out in the stores, all the decorations are out already. I already feel the energy in the schools of the kids getting ramped up for Christmas. I already see outfits, Christmas outfits. So that could be affecting us all already. I know the cozy season has arrived. So that's just an example for the weight loss one. But what if you were trying to quit smoking? Did you get really stressed and start smoking or maybe drinking again? What obstacles or challenges did you face? Did you get blindsided and go through a breakup? What caused you to start smoking again, or start drinking again, or start eating a lot of junk food again? And then you can journal about that. I'll give you a second here. Next one is what helped push you forward. So what are the things that helped you achieve your goal or do well with your goal? I'm going to give us a few seconds to think about that and journal about that as well. So for me, that might be encouragement from others, seeing results, receiving good feedback, positive feedback, that kind of thing. All right, now it's time to reflect on these goals, the reflection part. What acknowledgements can you give yourself? So, can you give yourself a pat on the back for what you did achieve? Maybe you didn't achieve this is just an example, but maybe you didn't achieve the 15-pound weight loss, but maybe you achieved 10, and you want to give yourself a big pat on the back for that. Or maybe you didn't stop smoking, but you stopped smoking a pack a day, and you're only smoking half now. Or maybe you didn't stop using your screens at night before bed, but you started to do it less often. These are the kinds of things that we need to acknowledge and celebrate the successes of. I'm going to give you a second to journal about that. Which thoughts have dominated your mind the most? So have you been hard on yourself? Have you been experiencing limiting beliefs? Don't think you're good enough. Don't think you need to do it. Don't think it's worth it. Those kind of things. Or have you been very encouraged and very motivated and gone maybe beyond the goals that you set at the beginning of the year? And you are thinking, wow, this is amazing. What else can I do? Those are different positive thoughts. What are your intentions for this journaling session? So what do you want to get out of this podcast and this little intentions and reflections exercise that I'm giving you? Maybe you're going to go and do it later, like I probably need to do because I am hosting this podcast. Try to do it in the moment as well. But what are your intentions? So for this journal exercise, do you want to be better? Do you want to be able to reach your goals by the end of the year now in the last month and a half? Do you want to just feel calmer today because it's been a stressful 3 months? Maybe. That's my intention, is to provide some stress relief for people that are going through a lot of stress like I am. I'm trying to do things that are meaningful for myself as well as others. All right, next we're going to write down the favorite moments of the week. So what were your favorite moments of the week? And write those down because this helps us with gratitude as well. Favorite moments. I'll give you a second. I'm going to think of mine as well. All right, what are your biggest learnings of the week? What were you so happy to learn this week? What was the biggest thing? Maybe you were facing a challenge and you got over it and you're like, wow, I can do this. Or you learned how to play a new game. Or how to overcome your boundaries and stick to them. Now we're going to set one new goal for next week. So today is Sunday, so that's perfect. Tomorrow's Monday. I like to start things on Mondays if I can. What's your goal for next week? I'm going to say for me, no screen time after 7. So eliminating the screens after 7 is my goal for next week. Devoting all my time to my home life, my family after 7. And then we're going to break that down into 3 steps. So step 1, 2, and 3, how are you going to achieve that goal? Because that's very important and it lessens the anxiety when we break things down into smaller steps. So step 1 for me to get off screens by 7 would be making sure that I'm efficient during the day because I do work from my phone. Putting that boundary in and saying, step 2 would be putting that boundary and saying, too bad. I'm done. I've worked enough for the day. I get up at 2:33, 4 in the morning. So by 7, I should be able to relax. 3, charging my phone in a drawer, turning it off completely so that I don't use it after a certain time. That really helps. Also, not using your phone as your alarm really helps. But if you do like listening to podcasts and music like I do, it can be hard to not touch it after a certain time, but maybe put your limits on social media or whatever it is that you use your phone for, and maybe working from your phone. No working from your phone after 7 is this is my example, but it's real life as well. Moments from this week. So what were some special moments from the week, whether they were maybe negative or positive, whatever you want? I personally like to be acknowledged by people. I like to be appreciated by people. So those are things that are coming up for me. I like when I get positive feedback. And someone analyzed my writing on Friday, and that was very interesting, because she said that she could analyze my personality through my writing, which is actually printing, and I thought that was pretty cool. She was taught that in India and took a course to learn about people's personalities based on how they space their letters, how big or small they write, how close together, that kind of thing, and messy or flowing. And she said I was a free-flowing person, which is pretty true. I've learned to be a very free-flowing person. I do not plan very far ahead. I learned that the hard way, unfortunately, but I don't see a point in planning too far ahead. It causes a lot of anxiety. Okay, big ideas for the month. So what are some big ideas for the month? Maybe you are going away on a vacation. Maybe you are tackling a goal. Maybe you are planning to learn something new or take a course or go to a workshop. Maybe you are getting a new puppy or a new kitten. My dog's eyes lit up. He's like, what? No thanks. Okay. And then any important notes that you have. All right. That is it for the intentions and reflection exercises. I am going to do another little exercise here today. So, as I've mentioned in other podcasts, I bought some books from the dollar store for $5 that have really helped me out with my intentions, reflections, mindfulness, gratefulness, all the things. And I read from them and learn from them and share them because I find that if it helps me, it'll likely help you too. So the next exercise is on gratitude and compassion, which is my favorite subject because it helps so much. And I did my first podcast on gratitude because it is my favorite. And I find that it helps everybody no matter what. And it really helped me through a lot of tough times. And it still does help me through tough times. So I'm going to start. So gratitude and compassion. So gratitude and mindful self-compassion can heal and bring peace to you. Gratitude comes when we are mindful, observing the simple beauty in our lives. So this is another writing practice. So gratitude practice, write it down. Gratitude and appreciation help us turn towards joy and gladness, which create chemicals of well-being and peace in our whole body. Studies show that the regular practice of gratitude and appreciation, including writing down the experiences you feel grateful for, can lead to better health, less stress, and a more optimistic outlook on life. So get your notepad out, maybe pause this and go get your notepad or your notebook or your journal. I know there's so many cool journals out when you go to Marshall's or anywhere. Highly recommend, or just a normal notepad. Okay, so find a peaceful spot where you can sit down and write in a notebook and meditate. I've got my calming music on the TV with the nice modern fireplace. I've got my own fireplace on. I've also got a candle lit again just to set the mood, to provide this cozy, calm feeling on this cooler day. We've turned into winter kind of weather here in Victoria, BC with the, rain, and it's definitely setting that mood for being in the house and warm, cozy. I do get outside later for a hike every single day, but that also increases dopamine and serotonin and all the things that helps me de-stress. And got my lovely companion here who's being very calm this morning. Good job, buddy. Okay, so hopefully you found that peaceful spot where you can sit down and write in a notebook and meditate. Give yourself a few minutes and note down all the things you're grateful for, such as friendships, things about yourself, your body, your home, pleasurable memories, and so on. I'm just going to pause for a few seconds to think about that as well. Okay, read through your list and internally give words of thanks to each point you noted. For example, Thanks for my beautiful smile. Thanks for my special favorite mug. My last holiday. When you give thanks, really tune into all 5 senses as best as you can. So let's tune in with our eyes of what's around us. And our ears, what can you hear? And what can you feel or touch? And what can you smell? And what can you taste? Did you just drink something, eat something? Can you taste anything in your mouth right now? Just go there right now and see. Can you taste anything? That's actually grounding in itself. It's a really good exercise to do to ground yourself and listen, like exactly what I just did. There's another one. 5 things you can see, 4 things you can hear, 3 things you can touch or feel, 2 things you can smell, 1 thing you can taste. The taste one's often hard for people that haven't had anything to eat at the time, but maybe you taste metal-y stuff or nothing, but you're just focusing on that, and that's calming. All right, bring awareness to this moment. What are you grateful for right here and now? How does this feel in your body, and where do you feel it? I often ask the kids this after sand tray, or maybe halfway through sand tray, how are you feeling in your body right now? They often say calmer, happier. It's so fun, things like that. And then where do you feel it? All over, or your stomach, your head? Where in particular are you feeling? And often they say all over. So see where you're feeling the calmness. Gently breathe and sit with gratitude for a little while longer. Okay, I'm going to do one more meditation here just because I want to. I feel like the collective needs it, and I hope it helps you. So this is called metta meditation, and it's loving kindness. Metta is usually translated as loving kindness. By practicing it, you may find you are able to deal with situations with greater ease and lightness. I truly feel that it is a very empowering tool for transformation. This is good for intentions and reflections exercise. So you can visualize in the center of your chest, your emotional heart, an image of yourself as you are now, or how you were as a child, perhaps supported by a loving other. If visualizing is difficult, try just seeing your name written in the center of your heart. The metta practice starts with the pure intention that we wish to increase self-compassion from within. We may use the analogy of planting a seed, which we tend through the practice until it grows into a beautiful flower or tree. It's a really cute visual that I will post to this podcast because it's very cute. May I be safe and protected. May I be peaceful. May I live at ease and with kindness. In week 2, after meditating on ourselves, we add somebody we love and care for. So we're just going to do the whole weeks here. May you be safe and protected. So this is someone you care for and love. May you be safe and protected. May you be peaceful. May you live at ease and with kindness. Week by week, we can expand the practice. We finally go still further to include people we hardly know or people who may have caused us some irritation or hurt. May all beings be safe and protected. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings live at ease and with kindness. With this practice, we start with the mere intention of loving kindness, but experience has shown me that persisting with it can wonderfully enrich our lives. If every one of us just managed to touch one another through this practice, the world would indeed be a safer, kinder, and a more peaceful place in which to live. All right, I think that is it. I'm just going to double check here. Okay, so that is it for those exercises. I was walking and listening to Eddie, my Latin. I don't seem to be able to do a podcast without mentioning him, but I listen to him almost every day, and he was talking yesterday about his book a little bit and the one more again that I talked about last week, but also talking about the fact that, you know, the guy that was on, and I can't remember his name yesterday, but how much he had been through. Like, he was in a coma for 3 months and came out of it, didn't know what had happened, and know he'd been sleeping for 3 months, and he was badly burnt. And he just talked about how much that man was grateful for his life, and he was always thinking of others and always thinking of, you know, how can he help others rather than just thinking about himself. And I thought that was cool, and how Eddie mentioned, oh, there's the hummingbird right now visiting. Aww. How he like pointed it out, like, you got burnt, you've got all these burns, you could have died. They didn't think he was going to live. He had a 15% chance of living, and he lived. And just, you know, saying how much of a hero he was, and how, like, when we are going through hard times, how it can be helpful to compare. It's not great to compare, but to say, like, at least I'm not, like, dying, or at least I'm not going through war, you know, or needing to flee my country, that kind of thing, because it puts things into perspective for you to be like, okay, this is going to be okay. It's not the end of the world, right? And there's a joke about the third world problems, the first world problems, that kind of thing. But I really think it's important, because I do work in 2 different schools, and I think, you know, it's hard. It's a difficult time of year when everyone's busy and running around and stressed out. But really, like, this is what my dad used to teach me, like, think about the kids in Africa that don't have food or water. And then figure out if you're going to be okay, kind of thing. And this relates back to gratefulness. And it is a time of year, you know, there are people leading up to Christmas that don't have a lot of things, right? And they might not have shelter, food, water, clean water, medical care. So just a reminder to be grateful for the things that you do have. And it is, you know, a very good practice. And you can call in things that you want. You can, you know, have those goals, have those intentions and reflections. But just remember that you should be grateful for what you have. Even if it's the worst day of your life, there's always something to be grateful for. Trust me, I've gone through it, and it helps. So that's why I love gratitude so much, because it helps with everybody. And I just wanted to remind you to put things in perspective and just do your best, because, you know, it is tough to try and provide education to a whole bunch of people. And this is not the only example, but it's an example that I hear about a lot. And it's hard to meet the needs of everybody at all times. And trust me, I'm a school counselor in 2 different schools, trying to meet the needs of the staff, the students, the families, and then trying to meet the needs of my own family and myself. So I know how it is to try and meet needs, but I also know that it could be worse, and you could be going through those things I just mentioned. So I hope that helps put things into perspective for you, and you probably know that already, but it's a reminder to be grateful. And you can call those manifestations in, And it actually works even better when you're grateful. So that's where I'll leave us today. I hope you have a calm, serene, chill rest of your day. And I'll see you next Sunday. Have a good day, everyone.